Hi, I'm Dr. Bertice Berry, and I want to tell you a story. I was in the second or third grade, I can't remember. I skipped kindergarten, and so I get a little bit confused about when it is and when it should be. Um, we'd gone to school, and my mother was angry and crying, and she kind of said something about the king being dead, and I was like, oh, what? And we went to school, and everybody was in a tizzy and just kind of moving about. And I was like, well, what's going on? And why are we in school if it's so bad? And I remember my teacher having us put our head down, and there was this cart that a big TV sat on. And there weren't that many in our public school, but I remember this cart being wheeled into our class. And she plugged up the cart without saying anything and turned on the television, and there was the news, and it was all about Dr. Martin Luther King, his life, his legacy, and his murder. I'm in the second or third grade, and I must have been third or fourth. Anyway, I remember her telling us to put her head down in silence and in prayer. And it was like out of nowhere, put your heads down in silence and prayer. And I lifted my head up to see what was going on because I couldn't really grasp things. And I saw my teacher sobbing, just sobbing. And I remember thinking, who was this man that could make her cry like that? I got home and I asked my mother about it. My mother began to tell me about this non-violent person who died at the hands of violence. And I remember her saying he was born to do what he did. And he did what he was supposed to do. And he went home, but he didn't go home the way he should have gone home. She said it was too much like Jesus. The man who came to show us the way was taken out. And I began as a child to think about my life and my purpose. And I wondered if I could ever live a life so well that I could make my teacher cry. I was just a kid. But somehow I realized the power of his life was so great that people who never knew him mourned that loss, and that it was bigger than that one person. This man's life moved our school, our class, my mother, our community, everything. The National Guard were stationed in our city for a year to make sure there was no violence, to keep us from being violent because of the death of a non-violent man killed by violent people. This time of Advent, begin to think of your life. We're not going to have lives as big as kings. We're not. But in this time of renewal and rebirth and birth and newness, what can you do that has such an impact that you change the way people feel about themselves, that when you walk in a room, people want to be better. It doesn't have to be anything huge. I met a woman who knits shawls, and those shawls make a difference in the lives of the people. As you prepare for this holiday season, thinking of the gifts that you will give, spend a moment thinking about the gift that you can be in somebody's life, showing up, being with them, putting your eyes on them, holding their hand. How can you make your teachers sob? Not from the loss of you, but from the life of you. I love you.